one in which is the reopening of the southern tier economy. And by southern tier, I just don't mean the greater Binghamton area. I mean the greater southern tier area. I also want to talk specifically about a piece of legislation that we introduced today that really is going to provide a significant relief to business owners, to municipalities, and to not-for-profits throughout the state. My sense since being elected has always been this, that it is incredibly important for me to listen to the people that I represent and then to act. And my overall sense from the folks that I represent across the 52nd Senate District is people are frustrated. People are really at their breaking point in terms of the economy being shut down, the economy not being open, people not being able to go to work, and people not being able to open up their respective businesses. And the people here in the southern tier are really ready to get back to work. And I am saying today, I'm calling on the governor to do away with the phases that he has implemented and let us get back to work. He has created this matrix in which you must check the boxes, if you will, in terms of PPE and hospital capacity, number of cases. The southern tier region has checked all of those boxes. And the fact that we have set up these arbitrary phases with different industries can open on this day, and you're in phase 3 or you're in phase 4, is really just adding to the overall angst of people throughout the southern tier. I've been approached by countless people in this district, countless business owners who are ready to go and who have plans in place to keep not only their employees safe, but their patrons safe as well. We, of course, when you're elected, you have a sworn duty to provide the people that you represent with relief. Making decisions during this epidemic is no doubt a very difficult thing to do because you're trying to balance public health and public safety and the overall health of the economy. I just want to talk about facts because the governor talks specifically about facts every day in his daily press briefings. Here are the facts about the southern tier region. The guidelines require a new hospitalization rate of under 2%. Ours is 0.11%. The guidelines require at least 30% hospital bed availability. Ours is double that. The governor guidelines require 30% ICU beds. Ours is at 52%. The guidelines require a decline in both deaths and hospitalizations over a 2-week period. We have done that. So the point today really is that the folks here, the local business people here in the southern tier should not be prevented from opening up. Governor, we have checked your boxes. We meet all of your thresholds. And the people of the southern tier have said very, very clearly that yes, we are taking all of the appropriate precautions to keep people safe. Our numbers are reflective of that, right? The facts are the facts. They reflect that. And people want to get back to work, and we have to do that. It's really not a time for businesses and industries to be relegated to some later phase. Here's what I don't understand. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot, right? You can go to Walmart, and there are hundreds and hundreds of people there. Some with masks, some without masks. But somebody who owns a little retail shop in the village of Owego or owns a small retail shop in the city of Binghamton can't open their doors the same way a big box store can. And remember, these are the very same people prior to this epidemic or this pandemic that were struggling to pay their property taxes or struggling to pay their mortgage on their building. And this issue of setting these arbitrary phases is doing nothing to help that. These decisions, quite frankly, should be made at the local level. It's my understanding that the governor has convened this 100-member commission. We have one person locally that's sitting on this 100-member commission that is going to be making decisions about when, in fact, businesses can open. That is bureaucracy at its best. I don't understand how anything could ever get accomplished when you have 100 people sitting around the table. It's New York City and Long Island centric. I get it, right? Because that really is where the pandemic, that's where the epicenter of the pandemic is. Let them make their decisions. What is in their best interest for the city of New York and for Long Island and the suburbs of New York City, allow us here in the southern tier to make the decisions locally to reopen. And you know what? Everybody, even the governor, is following the CDC guidelines, right? We locally are following the CDC guidelines. Allow us to continue to do that and allow us to open up. I'll go to my second point. Many business people that I've spoken to have told me that their insurance, their commercial insurance, doesn't cover a pandemic like this. There is no business interruption insurance. There are many municipalities who I'm sure you guys have covered this issue that are will be facing significant cuts because of loss of revenues. So we're advancing a piece of legislation today. It's called the Coronavirus Business Interruption and Municipal Recovery Program Act. I just want to describe it very briefly, if I may. This is a program of last resort. It's important to remember this because we are all very hopeful that the federal government will do what's right. Congress will put their politics aside and pass another relief package that helps municipalities directly. I'm not suggesting for a moment that the federal government should bail any state out of their fiscal woes created by themselves. I am a proponent of the federal government helping curb some of the financial issues that municipalities and local governments are having because of the coronavirus, state government included. Post September 11th and in 2011, after Superstorm Sandy, and then in 2017, after the flooding on Lake Ontario, what the state of New York did was created a recovery grant program which allows a public authority to bond for a certain amount of money over a period of time to get money into the hands of municipalities. So what we are suggesting today, the team and I over the last couple of weeks authored this bill. I'm pleased to say that every Republican member of the state Senate is on this bill. We're advancing it today. The majority leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, is inclined to come back to Albany to pass a series of coronavirus-related legislation. I'll be calling on her today as well to include this particular bill. What the bill would do is afford municipalities and businesses essentially a stopgap where businesses could, if they can show a loss per month between the dates of January 1st, 2020 and April 21st of 21, April 30th, excuse me, of 2021. That is the time frame in which we've given the governor leeway to make decisions to deal with the coronavirus. If businesses or municipalities or not-for-profits show a specific loss month over month, right, they would compare June of last year to June of this year. If no other program, federal, state, or otherwise, were able to help, this particular recovery grant program would help them. For businesses, it's capped at $1 million a month. For municipalities, it's capped at $3 million a month. And for municipalities with a population of 1 million or more, it's capped at $10 million a month. So there is no specific dollar amount associated with the program because you don't know what involvement would be. But this is not something new. This is not something that the governor has not supported in the past. So again, we're going to call on the majority leader to advance this particular piece of legislation as part of the coronavirus relief package. With that, I'll take your questions, if you have any.
I think you covered it pretty well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Here you go.